Welcome back, everybody. New protests expected at an ICE facility just outside the city of Chicago today. This as protesters gathered at the facility late yesterday. The processing center had been the site of regular demonstrations in recent weeks, with some of them unfortunately reaching very violent levels. Caroline Elliott, live with the very latest for us today. Hey, Caroline.
Hi, Kevin. We're expecting several protests in the Chicago area today, including right here in the Little Village neighborhood. Now, some locals have told us that this is a spot known as the Mexico of the Midwest. That's because it's a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood just west of downtown Chicago, and it's been a heavy target for ICE operations and recent protests. Earlier this week, video popped up online that was recorded right here in Little Village, which appeared to show Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino throwing what looks like tear gas into a crowd of protesters. And some are saying that this could be in violation of a court order. U.S. District Court Judge Sarah Ellis ordered federal agents must give 2 different warnings before using crowd control measures like tear gas, but DHS says that's what agents did. They say that agents repeatedly warned the crowd to back up. DHS says that Bavino was even hit in the head with something shortly before the video was recorded.
You cannot touch federal agents when they're doing their job, and that's something that they know. It's something that we reminded them of last night, because if you do, you're committing a crime.
According to DHS, the goal of Operation Midway Blitz is to target undocumented migrants with a criminal record in Chicago and Illinois. And Chief Greg Bavino told us so far agents have made more than 2,700 arrests. After a meeting of elected Democrat officials here in Chicago yesterday, Chicago's mayor says agents have gotten out of hand.
This is not about safety, and it's certainly not about immigration, because if it were about either one of them, he would use his executive leadership to actually put forth comprehensive proposals so that we can actually debate it. That's what democracy does.
And we're expecting those protests to start here in the next 30 minutes. Kevin.
Caroline Elliott for us outside that ICE facility in the city of Chicago. Thank you, Caroline. For more, we want to bring in former federal prosecutor and former acting ICE director and friend of the program, Jonathan Fahey. Great to have you as always, my friend. I want to play this. This is Pam Bondi talking about ICE tracking apps. And this is one of these storylines that a lot of people are beginning to finally wake up to, the technology that some of these groups like Antifa utilize to not just track ICE in action, but in some cases track them to their very homes. Watch this.
These organizations, President Trump, are coming in and their apps to track our federal law enforcement officers, and it jeopardizes their lives, where they're going to be, their location. And we've actually been working really well with the tech companies who have been cooperating, because they don't want our law enforcement officers to get injured.
This is hair-raisingly dangerous.
Yeah, this is really unconscionable when you think about this. The whole purpose of these apps are to prevent federal law from being enforced, or to put agents in danger. And the fact that they were ever out there, ever available in app stores is really remarkable. And now we hear this thing with Congress is now having an ICE tracking system as well, which is just also just shocking when you think about the danger that they're in and the fact that they're out there enforcing laws passed by Congress.
It really, really is bothersome, because you're right. The danger, the level of danger is obvious, but it gets even worse when now you have some crackpot who can basically look at a device and say, oh, they're going to be there, let's get a bunch of people over there quickly, and that's when things can escalate. We saw that with that vehicle going in reverse the other day. I mean, this is a really dangerous time.
Yeah, exactly. And something really bad is going to happen. And it's really shameful that our politicians are not standing on the side of law enforcement, because these guys really are out there putting their lives on the line every single day. Even without the politicians coming after them, they're facing the bad guys, and they need the element of surprise. They need to be able to arrest these people safely, and having all of these things coming against them is really going to lead to something really bad. And it's really sad, because we know a lot of these things, like we've talked about before, are preventable, and we should try to prevent them now.
I'd be nuts if I didn't ask you about Letitia James. A little sound for you. She says she's being prosecuted. This is a political persecution. Listen to this, get your reaction.
This justice system, which has been used as a tool of revenge and a weapon against those individuals who simply did their job and who stood up for the rule of law. and a justice system which unfortunately is nothing being used as a vehicle of retribution.
What does that have to do with mortgage fraud? I mean, you wrote down something that was false or you didn't.
Exactly. I almost had to pick my jaw up off the floor after hearing that because, my goodness, she campaigned about getting Donald Trump. She tried to ruin him, ruin his family, destroy his business, his employees. And the fact that, like you said, this is mortgage fraud. She signed a document saying one thing, and did she do something else? That's the issue at hand, and we'll see how it plays out in trial.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this one plays out. I'm not saying necessarily that she will lose at trial, but seems pretty cut and dry to me. Great to see you, my friend, as always.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.